I bet all of you are thinking the same thing. When should I buy AirPods, right? Are they about to get cheaper? Are new ones about to drop? What should I wait for? How long should I wait? How much should I pay? Well, in today's video, I'm just going to be confusing you even more so that by the time you're done watching, you're just going to have no idea what to do because leaks and rumors going around for next-gen AirPods are all over the place, so I figured I'd break them down and just go into all of the ones we know so far, and there's a good chance that it will be wrong. So let's begin. First off, apparently some new AirPods are ready to ship. I double-checked this with John, who says that they're still ready to ship. He just has no idea when they're coming out. I assume ready to ship means pretty soon, but also new iMacs have been ready to ship for months now. So I guess it could be a long time before these things actually come out, but we know very little about them. And if they actually do end up happening, my guess is that they would be a Gen 3 version of regular AirPods. So they're not a successor to AirPods Pro. They would likely have maybe a different starting price, some new CPU on the inside that helps with battery efficiency, so maybe longer battery life. I don't even know if it would change the sound quality that much, but the Gen 3 AirPods sound like they'd be incredibly minor because no one can say anything about them. So in my opinion, that means the design must be pretty basic and not that major over the last gen. Though the reason, if you want to doubt that rumor, I think is somewhat believable because Apple does not refresh AirPods very regularly. I mean, they introduced them way back in 2016 and didn't do anything with them until March of 2019. So statistically, it doesn't seem like something Apple would refresh once a year or even every other year. It's something that they get around to updating every 2 to 3 years, more likely. So the fact that we just got the Gen 2 AirPods last year is evident that, yeah, probably not even happening this year. But again, there's leaks and rumors, so it still could happen. But there's also 2 new versions of AirPods coming out later this year. One that some of you might not consider AirPods. So let's conclude AirPods Studio. Oh my God, we have talked about this thing for so long. The rumored to start at $350, so by far the most expensive version of AirPods available, and the rumored to be somewhat modular, customizable with different fits and probably cushions that you can take out and replace, and I imagine a much better battery life given their size. We also know very little about the design of AirPods Studio other than this little icon leak we saw in iOS 14, which, because it's from Apple, I think it's pretty likely it's going to look something like that, which they do look kind of basic, they kind of look normal. But I imagine the main emphasis on AirPods Studio is going to be they just have really good sound quality. Of course, they'll have noise cancellation, they'll have Siri support, but what we still don't know is what connectivity options it has. We don't know if it's going to be Bluetooth or there will be a wired option. I mean, the fact that they put Studio in the name makes me feel like there should be a wired option for audio engineers and kind of showcase these pair of headphones like they're a Mac accessory, not just an iPhone accessory. And while I doubt they would have a headphone jack, at least a charge port of some kind instead of just charging them inductively, I think would be nice. But again, very little rumors, very little leaks around it other than just they exist, but these are rumored to launch at Worldwide Developers Conference, which is just about 3 weeks away from today. So hopefully we'll get a good look at them and we'll know all the details of them by the end of this month. And the next one is also a bit of a wild card. AirPods X is also rumored to come out most likely alongside the next generation iPhones. And these are supposed to be AirPods built for sporting. You know, they're supposed to be more water resistant, kind of like Powerbeats Pro, except now, of course, under the AirPods branding, but we have no idea what the design of these things look like. Maybe once we start getting the iOS 14 beta and we can see some icons in the code, we'll know for sure, but my guess is something somewhat similar to the Powerbeats already because we're hearing rumors that Apple is kind of looking at absorbing the Beats branding. So they want to just kind of incorporate all of the Beats headphones into the AirPods and just have, you know, all kinds of different wearables that blend together. And this sounds like Apple making their own version of those headphones that, you know, are really stuck to your ears so they're not going to fall off, and they have some water resistance features. But yeah, it definitely sounds like AirPods lineup is going to get distorted, but I guess that's good because you want diversity when you have a huge user base, and AirPods are a hit. They're selling like crazy, so incorporating as many products as you can under that AirPods branding so everyone can flex in all different kinds of ways, shapes, and forms. You know, it's good to have diversity with your flexing, I suppose. So those are rumored to start at around $200, so they're going to be a little bit cheaper than AirPods Pro, which I bet you didn't think I was going to talk about, because no, we got nothing. I mean, there was a few people suggesting that AirPods Pro were going to get refreshed later this year, but also other leakers and analysts suggesting that's not going to happen, or it's possible maybe people are getting the AirPods X rumors and AirPods Pro 2 rumors mixed up into some other product category. But it'll be interesting to come back to this video 6 months later and see how much we get right and how much we get wrong. But because AirPods Pro just launched in October and they seem to be fairly successful, I mean, people are very, very upset with the noise cancellation, but I think that comes down to firmware, not so much the hardware. And again, given Apple does not refresh these things annually, I don't think it's safe to assume there will be a second generation of AirPods Pro later this year. And if they do, it will more than likely be a very minor refresh. It would be like a CPU improvement so that they have slightly better battery life, but I imagine they would look the same, they would have the same price, and if there's any huge fundamental gleaming issues you have with AirPods Pro, you're still gonna have them with the second gens. Kind of similar to AirPods Gen 2, you know, these things barely look different from the original version other than the charging light being moved, and they already did that with AirPods Pro, so they're not moving it on there. My personal request for next generation AirPods would be Slow-Fi button, of course, or the adoption of USB-C / ditching Lightning, but I know that's not gonna happen, but a man can dream, right? At least we got USB-C to Lightning cables in the box with the AirPods Pro. I can appreciate that, but of all the AirPods we've talked about in today's video, which sound the most interesting to you? Feel free to hit me up over on Twitter, join my Discord, and we can chat more about it there. This is your Apple Sheep here, and I'm not gonna be buying all these things, so look elsewhere for that. I'll see you in the next one.